Hello everyone, my name is Cameron, welcome back to the channel, and today we're doing the Hell in a Cell 2020 predictions. Really quick, before we get into the predictions, I do want to talk about two quick things. First things first, what happened with TakeOver 31. Basically, the day before TakeOver, I got really sick. I had a really bad cold. It was making me extremely tired, and I felt horrible for like the next week after. I recovered. Luckily, it wasn't too bad. It sucked being sick though, because I was at work and with all the, virus stuff going around. Being sick was not exactly a fun situation. I had to hold back a lot of coughs and sniffles and other things, and But luckily, I'm feeling much better. Jesse and I both really enjoyed the pay-per-view. We loved every single match. We did actually really fucking well on the predictions, and so hopefully Hell in a Cell will go better. I'm feeling a lot better. I think I still kind of have a little remnants of a cold, which sucks, but it's flu season. It's October in Michigan. Getting sick happens. It's what it is. Oh God, I'm exhausted. It's like 5 in the morning, so I'm sorry if I look really tired. It's because I am. But yeah, so that's the first thing. Second thing, why do we not do AEW predictions? Is it because we don't enjoy AEW as much? No, it has nothing to do with that. I've had a few people ask me the question as to why we don't do AEW pay-per-view predictions. And the main reason is because we can't watch AEW pay-per-views. We would 100% do the pay-per-view or the predictions if we could actually do watch the pay-per-views and do reviews for it. But we can't. We can't watch the pay-per-views, and the big reason we can't is because Jesse and I do not have the money to spend to buy $40 to $50, $60, whatever they are. I can't remember for sure. But we don't have the money to spend to buy the pay-per-views every single month to watch them. And also, even if we have the money and we could potentially buy it, we haven't seen a pay-per-view that they've put on that's been like, okay, I 100% want to buy this. And that's not saying that they don't put on very good pay-per-views. It's more of a situation of just us having like the idea and the thought and the want to actually spend the money on that because we think every match is going to be something that's going to draw us to it. Like this pay-per-view, Full Gear, coming up, is like the first pay-per-view we've really been interested in. And even then, we're still not going to buy it. Because, personally speaking, it's at the start of a month, and we have bills to pay because we're adults. So it sucks, but it's one of those things. I do want to talk about it before we get into it. Full Gear looks amazing. Like, it's shaping up to be a great show. You got Moxley versus Kingston, which looks amazing. If the second time around is better than the first, I think it'll be great because Kingston's pretty good in the ring. He is. I'm not going to say he's not. I don't enjoy him on the mic as much or in the ring as much as I probably should. He's great on the mic. I just don't really like his accent. But he's pretty decent in the ring and on the mic. So hopefully this second match with them is pretty good. You get the finals of the Eliminator Tournament to determine the new number one contender, which is most likely going to be Kenny Omega versus Hangman Page because it's very predictable. They're both on opposite sides of the bracket for the tournament. So it's like, it's been Kenny and Hangman in the finals, with Kenny most likely winning and then probably going on to take the championship from Jon Moxley. At least that's mine and Jesse's predictions for it. You have the Young Bucks versus FTR, which I feel like, one, it seems like based off last Wednesday's show, it seems like it's not actually going to happen. And two, I feel like it's been so overhyped and so like teased since FTR came to AEW that it's not gonna live up to what people want it to be. Like, personally speaking, every time they tease it now, I'm just like, can you guys just get this match over with at this point? Like, fuck, man, it's taking so long to get to this match, and I'm just like, can you guys just get to the match already, please? Because that's the thing, is the longer they draw that out, the less people are going to want to see it. And that's the problem, is like you guys are still trying to draw this out. Either it's they don't really want to face each other, or they're really trying to fucking overhype this match to make it seem like it's going to be the greatest tag team match of all time. Which it very well could be. But it's not going to live up to the hype of what they're trying to make it live up to. I don't know what any of the other matches are. I haven't looked at the Full Gear card. So those are the only matches I actually know that are going to be on the show. But yeah, I don't know. It's like I said, this is the pay-per-view that so far has really spoken to me and Jesse the most. Like, it's the one that we're like, okay, yeah, this pay-per-view could actually be worth it, but we're still like, let's not buy it. I want them to get a service like WWE has, because not every wrestling fan can afford to pay, $60 a month for a pay-per-view every month or every few months, So it's like, dude, can you guys just get like a service that I can pay for and watch the pay-per-views, please? It'd be so much better. Like, if TNT had an app, I think TNT does have an app, but like if they had an app kind of like WWE Network to where I could watch the AEW pay-per-views every month for a set price like $9.99 a month, I would fucking buy it in a heartbeat for the sole reason of watching. You know what I mean? Like, think about it. They could have that app. They could have a network for it. They could have the AEW shows on there, like all the, the past AEW and AEW Dark shows. They could have Being the Elite, Shot of Brandy, all that sort of shit that ties into AEW, and then also have the pay-per-views, so we can actually watch the pay-per-views in a normal setup way. And I think that'd be a great idea, because a lot of people don't feel like fucking buying pay-per-views all the time, me included, because I'm poor. But yeah, I think AEW needs to look at how they're doing their pay-per-view stuff just for now, because it's not. None of them have spoken to me enough to want to buy the pay-per-views. Not that a lot of people don't buy them, but still. All right, on to the Hell in a Cell 2020 predictions. After enough of my rambling, we have 5 matches currently confirmed for the card. 2 just kind of like run-of-the-mill singles matches, technically. 1 female singles match, and then 2 World Championship Hell in a Cell matches. All 3 of those, the Women's Championship, the WWE Championship, and the Universal Championship, are all on Hell in a Cell matches. So we're going to start with the more mundane matches and then work our way up. So first, we have a men's singles match. We have Elias versus Jeff Hardy. Jesse and I have both gone for Elias. This is the end of kind of a feud that a lot of people probably don't remember. Back before Elias was written off TV, Jeff Hardy and Sheamus were feuding, and a lot of Jeff's past substance abuse was brought into it. Sheamus framed Jeff to make it look like he was drunk and tried to hit Elias with a car, and Elias was taken off in an ambulance. It was basically later proven to be Sheamus that did that, even though commentary is like, oh yeah, we never did find out who did that. It's like, dude, tall white dude with a fucking red mohawk. I wonder who the fuck it could possibly have been. And it seems like Elias is trying to get back at Jeff for this, which makes fairly little sense, considering it's pretty much been confirmed that Sheamus was the one who was driving the car, tried to make it seem like it was Jeff. You'd think Elias would go after Sheamus instead, but whatever. Then we next have the culmination of the Miz and Otis feud in a singles match for the Money in the Bank briefcase. Jesse and I have both gone for Otis. I have actually started to enjoy this feud. I think the court case was a little stupid, solely because they had the bribe bullshit happen at the end. Like JBL, this is why you shouldn't be a lawyer or a judge, because you're a fucking corrupt son of a bitch. But whatever. We've both gone for Otis because, let's be honest, Otis is probably the best chance of winning this match, because Vince likes Otis, and a lot of people always wonder why the hell certain people get... It's because Vince likes them. If Vince likes the person, they're going to get a push, or they're going to be kept in a top spot in some way. I mean, look at Lars Sullivan. All the shit he's done, but Vince likes him, so he's still getting a push. I don't know if he deserves said push, but he's still getting a push. But yeah, I really hope Otis wins. I don't expect to see him cash in during Hell in a Cell. I think his cash in might be later on in the future. Hell, I think he might have a announced cash in rather than a surprise cash in. With who's currently champions, I don't know if that's probably going to happen right now. Like, I don't expect him to do a surprise cash in or announce cash in on Drew or on Roman, just because, like, it's not. It just doesn't seem likely to me with who's currently champion. There's a lot of rumor that Roman's going to drop the title to Big E at some point. I could definitely see an announced cash in by Otis on Big E, which I would think would be great. I would love to see that match, face versus face, Big E versus Otis. It'd be great in my opinion, and I would really be up for that match. That'd be great. I just don't see them giving it to the Miz. I mean, Miz isn't going to do shit with that either. His big thing for Otis is that he's squandering and neglecting the opportunity that he has. He's neglecting the Money in the Bank contract. However, look at who's currently champion on Raw and SmackDown. And the fact that Otis has a full fucking year before he has to cash in. He's not neglecting shit. He's just trying to choose the perfect opportunity to cash in. Miz, you did the exact same thing. The fuck you talking about? So it's like, it's really dumb. It's the Money in the Bank briefcase has always been a situation of cash in at the perfect moment and hope that it goes the best for you. Otis is looking for that exact moment, and I don't think it's come up yet, and I don't think it's going to until later on in the future. And when it does, I expect to see Otis as champion. Now, I don't know if he's going to actually succeed in his cash-in. I would love it if he did, just because I know there's so many people on the internet that would freak the fuck out because they would be so pissed off that Otis is champion. But I think Otis is great. I love Otis and Tucker. Heavy Machinery are awesome, and just the idea of Otis being champion just seems so insane, but also just so fucking cool to me at the same time. Moving on, we have the women's Hell in a Cell match for the SmackDown Women's Championship. We have Bayley, the current champion, in her, let's see, Friday was 375, I think Cole said, so by today it's 377 days as SmackDown Women's Champion, I believe, if I remember hearing Michael Cole correctly on Friday's night SmackDown, versus her former best friend, Sasha Banks. Now, I have not ever once in my life made it unknown that I do not really like Sasha Banks. I'm not the biggest fan of hers. I think her voice is very annoying. I don't think she's that great in the ring. I think the way they've pushed and stopped her pushes in the past, where she'd win a women's championship and then lose it in her first defense, has kind of always been a big issue for me, and it kind of soured me on Sasha Banks, especially when her and Charlotte were swapping the title back and forth and 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 for like fucking 9 months back in 2016. That being said, Jesse and I have both gone for Sasha Banks. It's not an experience thing for me and Jesse. It's not because, Sasha has the experience in the South. That's never going to be my main reason for a pick. It's never going to be, they have experience in this match. It's always going to be looking at it from the way WWE plans their storylines. And I feel like Sasha winning this is the way they're going to go. Probably to set up to Bayley using some nefarious means to win it back in a rematch, which will probably be Sasha's first defense, just to then probably build it towards Mania. Me and Jesse both thought they were going to build this towards Mania as much as they could. Have Sasha sell her injury for a few more months and then have her come back, win the Royal Rumble, and then face Bayley at Mania. However, now it seems more likely what they're going to do is have Sasha win here, lose it back to Bayley some point between now and January, maybe writing Sasha off with a small injury. Sasha wins the Rumble. Sasha goes to main event at WrestleMania against Bayley. Sasha beats Bayley at WrestleMania. Hopefully does not lose it in her first defense again. And I think that's the way they're going to bring this story to a close. At least that's the way it looks. Again, WWE changes their mind a lot, and by WWE changes their mind a lot, I mean Vince McMahon changes his mind a lot. So there's a very good chance that could end up changing at some point along the lines. Next, we have the WWE Universal Championship match. Drew McIntyre defending against Randall Keith Orton in a Hell in a Cell match. We've both gone for Drew McIntyre. A lot of people are saying they're bored of... I don't know if it's just people trolling online, but there's a lot of people saying they hope Randy wins, and they're tired of Drew's title reign. I'm like, why? His fucking title reign's been awesome. He beat Brock Lesnar. He's fucking whooped the shit out of Randy Orton on a constant goddamn basis. I think he's doing fucking great as champion, and I fucking don't want to see it end anytime soon. However, what I do want to see end is this dragged-ass feud of him versus Orton, because let's be honest, Drew can be doing better things right now with his title run. Especially with the fact that the draft just happened, we could potentially be seeing some monumentally amazing feuds with Drew McIntyre as champion. Drew McIntyre versus AJ Styles. Drew McIntyre versus Matt Riddle. Drew McIntyre versus Jeff Hardy. Drew McIntyre, I'm running out of people's names to say. Versus The Miz. Versus John Morrison. Versus Tucker. There's a fucking boatload of people that Drew McIntyre can be facing, but he's still facing Randy Orton for the third time? Fourth time? This has been his title reign in a nutshell. Like, he faced Dolph like twice. Then he faced Randy. I think this is the third or fourth time he's facing him for the championship. Just let this feud end so I can watch Drew McIntyre face somebody who's not Randy Orton or Dolph Ziggler or Robert Roode for one fucking day. Or The Big Show, for that matter. I want to see Drew McIntyre face somebody new and actually have like a more exciting fucking feud, because Randy Orton versus Drew McIntyre, not the feud I wanted to be seeing for most of this year. Not at all. And finally, we have the final match of the night. We have the Tribal Chief, your reigning, defending, undisputed Universal Heavyweight Champion of the world, Roman Reigns, facing off against his cousin Jey Uso in an I Quit Hell in a Cell match, with the added bonus that if Jey Uso is to utter the words I quit, him and his brother Jimmy, as Jimmy is also being embroiled into this feud and will be ringside along with Paul Heyman, him and Jey Uso will become Roman's subordinates if Jey utters the words I quit. However, if they refuse to fall in line, Roman has added the consequence that Jey, Jimmy, their families, their children, their children's children are out of the family. Now, I think this is the biggest kind of point that it's to make, that it's setting up for The Rock to come in and say, listen here, lil' cuz, you don't make the rules for our family, blah. You know, I think it's definitely setting up for The Rock to come out and basically just stomp a fucking mud hole into Roman. That being said, Jesse and I have both gone for Roman Reigns, and I've even fantasy booked it a little bit. I think Roman's going to win. Jey and Jimmy are going to become his subordinates. They're going to cost... they're probably going to get a tag title shot thanks to Paul Heyman and Roman Reigns' pull at some point down the line. I think Roman is going to be cost the championship, or I think the Usos are going to cost The Rock the championship in a match against Roman sometime between now and WrestleMania, which is going to piss The Rock off. So then Roman's new challenger, Big E, is going to win the championship by The Rock costing Roman the championship to get payback, to set up for The Rock versus Roman at WrestleMania in some big family blow-off grudge match to determine who really is the head of the table in their family. Now, there's a lot of people probably wondering, why do I not say Roman versus The Rock for the championship? Because The Rock doesn't need the championship, and 100% of the way, I think The Rock should go over in this feud. That's my personal opinion. There's a lot of people who probably have that same personal opinion. However, I think The Rock kind of winning it back for his family, even maybe Jey and Jimmy turn their back on Roman and he kicks them out of the family, so The Rock fights to reinstate them into the family, or something along those lines. Because Roman no longer being champion, he's not the tribal chief anymore, so to speak. So Roman versus The Rock, I don't think needs to have the title. It has something bigger. It has the head of the family title to it. I think that's what it needs. It doesn't need a title attached to it. And I think it'd be better with the feud not being for the title in the end of it, at least. Like, yeah, have a title match somewhere in there that it's kind of obvious Roman's gonna win somehow, probably through fucking shenanigans or something. But at Mania, do not have it be for the title. I think that's a bad idea. It's like The Rock versus Cena, once in a lifetime match that happened twice, where the second one didn't really need the title. Like, it didn't need the title, and they threw it in there anyway, and then CM Punk left the company because he was being squandered from all this bullshit. And I feel like, yeah, don't put this as a title match. Let this be non-title. You know, let Big E... Hell, you could even say that Otis's cash-in, and his announced cash-in, as I said, is at Mania against Big E. I don't think it's a main event qualifying match. You don't need that to be the main event. Let that be, you know, third or fourth, fifth match, you know, and let the WWE Championship main event the pay-per-view instead. But let Big E and Otis have a spot on that, with Otis having that be his cash-in. I think that's a great idea. I don't think it's going to happen, but I think it's a great idea nonetheless. So yeah, that has been the Hell in a Cell 2020 predictions. I know I went off on a bit of a tangent, so one more time to run them down, I'm going to go through them. Jesse and I have the same predictions. They are as follows: Elias over Hardy, Sasha over Bayley, Otis over The Miz, Drew over Randy, and Roman over Jey Uso. I hope you guys enjoyed. Stay tuned for the review in the next coming days. Predictions, if I remember to do them or put them on there, will be on the Twitter. Stay golden. Peace.